If you do a quick online search right now for better sleep or sleep habits, there's this set of sleep rules that seem to pop up whenever you hit search. It goes by many names: sleep habits, sleep hygiene, or my personal least favorite, sleep hacks. Hello, I'm Josh, I'm a doctor working in London, and if you're new to the channel, then welcome. This is a place where we talk about everything sleep. Today we're going to run through what people call sleep hygiene, and why even if you've never heard that term before, you're probably aware of or have even tried out some of the practices involved. And we'll explore, if you're like most people, some of the reasons it might just not be working out for you. But if you've never heard of sleep hygiene before, don't worry. Here's a quick summary. Exercise regularly, but not too late into the evening. Avoid caffeine in the mid-late afternoon or evening onwards. Same thing goes for nicotine. Cut down on alcohol. Although alcohol may seem to put you to sleep, it destroys regular brainwave activity. No heavy meals before bedtime. Keep your bedroom cool. A bedroom temperature between 16 to 18 degrees Celsius or 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal. Avoid a large amount of fluids at nighttime. A warm bath or shower may actually help cool you down leading up to bedtime. Schedule a quiet, relaxing wind-down routine just before bedtime. Keep the bedroom free from noises that might disturb you or wake you up. Dim, warm lights in the evening are what you want. Ideally, keep the color temperature to somewhere between 1800 to 2800 Kelvin. Keep the screens out of the bedroom. Naps are okay, but not too much. Okay, so that was quick and a lot to take in, but before you hit rewind, that's not the point of this video. Because let's be honest, you can find all of that information online, and if you really want, I'll post some links below to some reputable, good resources where you can read lots more about sleep hygiene. But do let me know if you want me to do a specific breakdown of all the sleep hygiene practices, and I'll probably do it. But what I really want to talk about is how I think about these things in real life and how I put these habits into practice just by remembering 3 simple things. And at the end, I'll show you an example of what this might look like for you in your real life. Well, why is sleep hygiene so popular? Number 1, it's got great branding. In the age of Apple's iPhone and Nike's Just Do It, sleep hygiene has all the building blocks of great branding. It's mysterious enough and it's snappy enough. On top of that, this 2-word catchphrase seems to hold the promise of condensing years and years worth of sleep research down into a simple bulleted list that anyone can follow. This is probably why it's suggested by many health professionals, including doctors, as a simple tool that anyone can do to solve just about any sleep issue, and that just simply isn't true. These days, the term sleep hygiene has actually lost a lot of its original meaning. Whilst once promoting evidence-based strategies for improving sleep, it's now a sort of an umbrella term used to cover any sort of activities or products that might give you better sleep, no matter what the evidence base is or how unscientific it might be. The second reason is that principles of sleep hygiene seem to fit perfectly with the idea of a checklist. The benefits of using checklists for improved performance and productivity has been demonstrated across a number of sectors, including healthcare and aviation. And for those who love a to-do list type approach to implementing and reaching their goals, a checklist sort of system seems the ideal way to put into practice sleep hygiene principles. Unfortunately, no single agreed sleep hygiene list exists, and that's particularly as we learn more and more about the different factors that influence sleep quality and quantity. But even if there was a single agreed list, you just can't package all of those varied sleep hygiene recommendations into one simple bundle that you can just implement at one specific time in the day. And for those with insomnia, whilst sleep hygiene is still important, it distracts from the real issue. Here, being overly focused on sleep hygiene as a tick box exercise can be counterproductive. So with this in mind, if sleep hygiene is to have a specific usefulness, it needs to have 2 things. It needs to be based on scientific evidence, that is, we need to know that the recommendations are actually going to work. And it needs to be flexible enough so it allows for new learning and new development, and it doesn't feel like we're just adding to a list of memorizing stuff to do. If we look back at the original definition of sleep hygiene coined by Dr. Peter Howry back in 1977, he says, "Sleep hygiene education is intended to provide information about lifestyle and environmental factors that may interfere with or promote better sleep." So instead of thinking of sleep habits or sleep hygiene as an exhaustive list, I prefer thinking of it in 3 buckets: things that you ingest, things that you do, and the environment. So things that you ingest can be ingesting caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, anything that you put in your body that can potentially influence your sleep. So that includes things like avoiding having large meals before bedtime and not having too much fluid close to bedtime, Things that you do can include avoiding late night exercise and possibly integrating a wind down routine and maybe a warm bath in the late evening to help cool down. And your environment can include things like keeping the bedroom quiet, cool, and with the lights dimmed down. So if you can stop focusing on ticking off a bunch of sleep habits and sleep activities and instead focus on those 3 buckets, things that you're putting in your body, things that you're doing, and your environment, you're much more likely to see how the activities you engage with on a day-to-day basis influence your sleep later in the daytime. Because the quality of our sleep at nighttime is directed and influenced by the small and simple practices of our day-to-day lives. So being aware of these 3 broad areas will help you make better decisions throughout the day without forcing you to remember or check off a really long list. If you want to start putting this into practice immediately, one of the best things you can do is set up a prompt system, which is an external reminding system that will turn your attention to these 3 areas intermittently throughout the day and help you refocus your attention on the activities you're doing at any point in time. The prompt can be any number of things. It can be a screensaver on your phone, it can be a post-it note that you stick and keep somewhere that you go regularly, it can be a calendar reminder on your favorite calendar app, or it could even just be a little scribble on your hands. There's no one way. You can get as creative as you want with this. There are only 3 things you need to remember: what you're ingesting, what you're doing, and the environment you're in. Over time, this thought process will become second nature and you won't have to rely on any external prompting system, and you'll be naturally guided to make better decisions, big or small. So throw away the sleep checklists, there's a better way to do things. It'll take a bit of practice, but the point of all of this is to free up some mental space and to stop you from agonizing over whether you've done everything exactly right. I've got to be honest, this has been an absolute game changer for me. I'm not the best at remembering stuff in general, so anything that just boils it down to simple first principles and lets me get on with my life is a winner. I do hope you find it helpful. Please do let me know in the comment section below and hit subscribe if you haven't done already for more on sleep and productivity and daytime focus. Because as we say, a better night is a better day. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye.